Welcome back to Jazzy's Cozy Corner. I'm Jazzy, and I will be reading you stories as you go about your merry day. So grab that drink, find your comfort, or embrace the hustle of the day, and enjoy the stories I have for you.
This post is coming from true off my chest. I'm accused of stealing my ex-husband from his fiancé. I will try my luck here and I hope this is more civil. My ex-husband, male 40, and I, female 41, separated 4 years ago. It was I who asked for the divorce, but we had a lot of problems and we both knew that we weren't compatible anymore. My biggest issue was that he never was there for me, nor was he understanding. It was after our daughter was born, female 6. He never helped and he just went on with life like it was before she was born. Nothing was the same after our daughter was born, of course, and I couldn't reach him. We fought all the time. I was suffering from depression and weight gain, and I felt shit about myself. I probably wasn't easy to handle either. The divorce was amicable, and he proved all my worries wrong, that he would neglect our daughter, since it felt like he was unwilling to adapt to his new role as a father after her birth. But no, I was happy that he proved me wrong and that he turned out to be a great father to our daughter. But at the same time, I wish he would have stepped up earlier when we were still together. He started seeing his fiancée, female 31, about 3 years ago. This killed me because I still loved him very much, but I wanted to be happy for him, for our daughter's sake, so I pretended I was just that. After a while, he introduced her to my daughter, and she seemed to be nice, and she was very good with my daughter, and loved her, and my daughter seemed to really like her, so I was at least relieved that she is a good person who cared about my child. I never told anyone about my feelings and regrets, but kept it to myself because it was my own doing, and now I take the responsibility. About 6 months ago, when my ex was dropping off our daughter, he told me that he was engaged. I felt like I wanted to pass out, and I don't even remember how I managed to pull myself together and put a smile on to congratulate him. I tried for weeks afterwards. I didn't even know what I was expecting, but I was devastated. A few weeks after, I met my ex-husband's sister at the grocery store, and she asked me how I felt. I felt my tears welling up, and all she needed to do was to hold my hand for me to burst out crying. She asked me if I still loved him, and I tried to act happy for his sake, but she probably wasn't convinced. My ex was a bit changed afterwards, and at first I thought I was imagining things. While we're always being cordial towards each other, he was more chatty now, and he made excuses to stay longer during drop-offs, and even a couple of times I thought that he made sure to arrive around dinner to ask if he could stay because he was hungry. Then a few weeks later, the sister showed up at my place with my ex-husband, and she told us that we needed to talk. He said that he never knew that I still loved him, and that he still loved me too. If he knew, he would never have tried to move on. Later, I heard that he ended his engagement. His mother called me even before I knew he had ended his engagement to tell me that I was the A for ruining his happiness, that I broke his heart, and now I waited for him to find a good woman who could give him a good future, a better future with more children, to just pick him up again. And also, his fiancé sent me many DMs calling me an old witch who is using my daughter and his love for her to take him, that I'm pathetic and desperate, and he only thinks about our daughter. I feel bad because his ex has been nothing but good towards me, and she lost 3 years on him. Am I the A? I didn't answer the ex-fiancé, and I haven't spoken to him yet. He is asking me out on dates, and he's talking about counseling, so we don't make the same mistakes again.
Next story. I, 28 male, want a divorce from my wife, 27 female, but everyone wants me to forgive her. Throw away for obvious reasons. Me and my wife have been married for 3 years. First, let me say, my wife is not struggling with any issues that I am aware of, and we have known each other since grade school. We literally know everything about each other's and our families. About 2 months ago, I came home and found my wife and our 6-month-old daughter on the couch. My wife was asleep and my daughter next to her. The moment I went to greet them, I smelled my daughter immediately. She needed a diaper change. I didn't know how long it had been since her last diaper change. I took my daughter from the couch to go and change her. As I didn't want to wake my wife up, my wife doesn't sleep during the day, so I know that if I find my wife sleeping during the day or any time before 9 p.m., she had had a hectic day and is just drained. I walked into my daughter's room and placed her on the changing table and started to change her diaper. Not even 2 minutes later, my wife walked into the room, and as I greeted her, she looked at me and looked down on my daughter on the changing table and went into a rage and started to attack me. I was stunned for a second. An instinct kicked in and I leaned over my daughter to protect her. My wife was shouting while hitting me, how could I, over and over again, and that I'm a monster. I had no idea at the time what she was talking about. And the morning I left, everything was good as it could be. She then ran out the room like 5 minutes later. 3 police officers had me in handcuffs and my wife was going crazy that she caught me SA my daughter. I was speechless at that moment and I couldn't believe what she was saying. I asked her what she was talking about. All she kept saying is that she saw me doing it. I was arrested and released the next day. When the police had a look at the camera footage in my daughter's room, clearly seeing that I was just busy changing her diaper and nothing happened, there is not evidence that to support my wife's claim, and she attacked me without provocation. I want a divorce. I can't believe she would even think I would do something like that. I haven't spoken to her since I got released, and my phone has been blowing up with calls and texts with her apologies. I honestly don't care about that. The moment she said those words to the police, that I SA my daughter, it was like all the love I had for her fell, and all I feel is a void inside of me at the moment and nothing else. I had her served with divorce papers a week ago, and now everyone is constantly harassing me from my family, her family, our friends, to talk to her and try counseling to sort this out. She can get counseling if she wants, but I will not be involved. I am going for full custody of my daughter. My lawyer has informed me that I will most probably get full custody of my daughter due to my wife's violent outbursts on camera, and that I had to shield her with my body and the false claims laid against me, noting her mental state. Everyone is saying I'm taking things too far by divorcing her and trying to take my daughter from her. But nobody can give me a reason as to why she did what she did. She herself, in the 374 messages, hasn't given me an explanation as well. Just constant sorry, and we can go for marriage counseling and individual counseling. Again, I don't care. She can go by herself. I'm just worn down at the moment as the gravity of everything is hitting me. What should I do? Everyone is on her side. What am I missing? OP didn't comment much, but he did leave this in response to one commenter. And the commenter says, "You do not need to stay in this relationship, no matter what caused her to snap. She physically attacked you. She called the police and said you assaulted your own daughter. If you feel divorce is the best option and have mentally checked out, it is the best option." And OP's response was, honestly, at the moment, I'm thinking that something is wrong with me. I don't see myself ever getting past this. What happened the next time I'm alone in a room with my daughter, playing with her or anything? Divorce is the only option for me, as I will not be in a relationship that I have to constantly look over my shoulder, especially if I did nothing wrong. So, this is a crazy story, and I wonder if the wife is having some type of mental crisis for her to snap, accuse, and assault her husband. She probably needs to be evaluated for one thing or another, and OP needs time away from her, and the family needs to give him a break. This mental and emotional toll on him is not going to be well for anyone. He needs to do what he needs to do for himself and his daughter. So tell me, what do you think?
So those two stories were pretty rough and kind of heavy. So we're gonna close off with a lighter story with an update about a nurse-to-be, her notes, and not sharing. Am I the A for not wanting to share my final notes with my nursing classmates? Hey all, so I am in an accelerated nursing program. We are set to graduate actually this week, but I'm not doing too well in my med-surg class, and most likely will not be graduating until April if I have to retake this class. Now, basically, for the entire year, there are a few classmates of mine, one in particular, who always asks me to send her my notes for some of our classes to study before an exam. I take a lot of time creating these notes, reading the textbook, watching videos, asking the professors for help. At first, I did not mind sending, until I realized that majority of the class had my notes. The one girl I sent my notes to was sending to other people. Before our last exam, I looked over at my classmate who I did not send my notes to, and she had my notes printed out studying from them before the exam. I didn't mind sharing my notes because I felt as if we were all working together to pass. That is until I started failing med-surg. I guess there are tips and tricks and resources online that the class had found and are just not sharing with everyone. So I feel away because I feel like I've been helping so many people and I've asked for help but haven't received it. No one owes me anything, and I understand why people don't like to share the resources they have because they might get in trouble or they worry the professor might fine and change the exams, but I feel bitter now. We have a final tomorrow, and several people have been asking me to send them my notes for our pediatric final. I just don't want to send them because I feel like I've been helping you all year, and when I needed help, no one responded. People have literally told me they are only passing the class because of my notes. So, am I the A for not sharing? Update. Hey all. So I believe it was yesterday that I posted on this group about how I am currently failing my med-surg 2 class, which I still am, lol. Our final for that class isn't until Thursday. There are a couple of girls who usually rely on me to send them my notes before exams, and I never had an issue until I realized that my notes were being sent to people that I didn't send them to. Still, this didn't bother me until I reached out looking for help pertaining to our med-surg class because everyone is passing except for me. When I reached out, I got very broad responses as to how they are studying and what resources they are using to get good grades. I felt a way about this because I feel like all semester or even all year, I've been kind enough to share my notes before exams for them to study, and they have been doing well. Now that I need help, no one wanted to help. I guess they didn't want to jeopardize the resources they have, which is fine. I decided to not share my notes this time around before our pediatric final. It seems as if people were not reading or even studying for the class. They were only relying on my notes. We took our pediatric final today, and I got a 96. The group of girls who usually use my notes to study failed, and 3 of them even got caught cheating using ChatGPT and are now dismissed from the program. Mind you, we only have 2 more days until the semester is over, and we are supposed to be getting pinned for graduation. This final was worth 30% of our grade, and a few of them were already sitting at around 77%. Failing brought them below the 75% threshold, which is the passing for our program. I kind of feel bad because I knew they relied on my notes, but I also don't feel bad because I asked for help and no one helped me. Am I the A for not giving them my notes? I feel like I let them fail. Top comments. NTA. You're not responsible for other people passing or failing their classes. You're not responsible for other people's academic work or lack thereof.
You reap what you sow. They relied on your notes but weren't there when you needed help. You owe them nothing. In game theory, the proven best strategy for the prisoner's dilemma is cooperating in the first round and then mirroring what the other person did last round. This isn't even the prisoner's dilemma. There was virtually no cost to the other students to help you. So tell me, what do you think of this story? Do you think OP should feel bad for not helping? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to connect with each other in the comments below. Until next time, be kind, be curious, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, Jazzy signing off.